Welcome back. I'm your host, Yussef. This is the Monarchy Movement. This is going to be one hell of a ride. Follow us on this journey on the road to kingship.
Welcome to the Monarchy Movement, hosted by Yussef.
Donny boy. Man,
Frankie D,
brother,
how you doing, man?
I miss you, man.
I miss you even more.
I miss you, brother.
It's a pleasure, man.
I'm actually very happy to have you here.
I'm actually even more happy to be here. I'm really happy for you. Congratulations on this. This
I
is
appreciate it.
seeing a good friend from a long time do something this amazing and this breakthrough in Ottawa in particular. It's a warming sensation. For
Well,
sure.
I appreciate it,
You know
man.
what I mean? Especially
I appreciate
where
it.
we all came from, you, me, and Ali, and you know the grind, the hustle, everything. It's. I'm proud of you, man.
See, that's what I want to talk about, man.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, brother. You know, that's something. I was literally talking about this yesterday with my brother. I'm like, you know what? Wallah, it's a long time coming, man.
It is.
It's something I really wanted to do, you know?
Well, you always had the charisma, the character for it. You know, whenever you watch those guys on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube who have these very large podcasts and they talk business and stuff, you know, you always struck me as one guy that eventually would get into this game as well.
I love it, man.
So yeah, man.
I appreciate all the love. All the love. Donny Fat Cat, ladies and gentlemen. This is Donny Fat Cat, the legend himself.
I'm not sure about a legend, man.
There's the legend himself, man.
No, it's still upcoming, man.
Well, see, that's what I see. You know what? That's one thing I got to say, you know, man, it's been, especially even in your journey, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Long time coming for you, man. You know what I mean? I'm proud of what you're doing. I wanted to obviously talk about a lot what you're doing, but man, talk about humble beginnings, eh?
Yeah, man.
Ups and downs. You yourself, bro, you're the epitome of ups and downs. There's nobody that can touch your fucking shoes, and here you are.
No, believe me, there's guys that I wish I could, you know, achieve their greatness. You know, I had to stick through faith. You know, we come from a religion that we were taught so many lessons through our prophets, through our Quran. So whatever we were challenged with, you know, is nothing compared to the greats, right? So
100%.
I had to stick it out. I had to fight. No one was going to fight for me in my journey.
Fact.
So you know, there were definitely huge challenges I had to go through. You know,
Well, you know what they say, right? The enormity of rewards is based on the enormity of suffering at that point.
inshallah, right? Like
I'd say in both. You know, if you want to look at it in a religious sense and even like in a business sense, let's be honest. Anybody that's ever made it to such a high caliber, even if you want to talk athletes or you know what I mean, they gotta train 7 days a week and they're literally they're battle ready at all times. You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And then even if you talk in business, let's be honest. You know, let's talk, bro. Spain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You literally, you went off, you did dentistry and you worked your ass off to study and all that.
Yeah.
Nothing came easy for you guys, man.
No, nothing was easy. You never expected it to be easy either way, right? Like we knew that there was a huge hurdle that you had to go through. I had to study first. I got my bachelor's degree here in Ottawa. And then with the bachelor's, I was eligible to apply to dental school. And when I went to dental school, I didn't do it here in Canada. I had to go abroad. And that was in itself a huge challenge, right? And then when I finished dental school and then I came back here, I went through an agency that unfortunately turned out to be, you know, unfortunately, they were fraudulent and I got in trouble for it, right? And, you know, that was my fight that I had to fight. I don't know what it was that, whether it happened
Mentally,
here or
where
elsewhere.
were you there? Obviously, you know, for more of the viewers, I know what you were going through,
Yeah.
but you were,
You know,
you were shaking it rough. That was unfortunate, man.
Yeah, it was definitely. It's, you know, I've never had any run-ins with trouble ever in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in a pretty safe community.
Yeah, while you were going to school, where you know,
Yeah.
that's all. I'll leave it.
You know, I've always had, you know, a pretty privileged life. And then I get stuck with a case, right? And it was a pretty nasty one, to be honest with you.
It's crazy, man.
It drained me of all my money at one point. The lawyers that I had hired weren't really doing much for me until...
Bro, you're working several jobs.
I was working 100
crazy,
jobs.
man.
Right? I was sleeping in my X5. If I don't know if you remember those.
I do remember, yeah, man.
Like I was driving to different cities, starting my own business, and all the money I'm trying to make from these businesses was to pay lawyers. And I couldn't afford to stay at a hotel or anything fancy. So what I would do is I would stay in my car, wake up in the morning, go to one of those Flying J gas stations, take a shower for $7 and freshen up.
Well, that's what makes you, bro, man. That's what makes you resilient. You know
But
what I mean?
it was an adaptation, right? So I'm actually pretty happy that I had to experience that extreme hardship, only to know that now when things are starting to get better, or inshallah in the future when things become even more better.
Yeah.
What I had to go through to achieve that. You know, money is everybody's dream to have so much of,
100% abundance.
to just relax and be free, right? It gives you that peace of mind. But at the end of the day, when you're fighting for your credibility, when you're fighting for your image, you're fighting for your freedom at the end of the day, you really get to know yourself very well.
Well, let's be honest. I think a big thing of that too was not even just, it was the fact that you're innocent.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're innocent, and they were going through a situation where they were deeming you guilty, and they put you in the public. Obviously, we're not going to get into specific details. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
But how did you feel about that? You know, what was your mindset when you're like, man, I didn't do it? You know what I mean?
You know, when you get hit with that, especially with the media going at you as a witch hunt, right?
Yeah.
And they don't leave you alone.
No.
Like I was getting phone calls from several outlets in the middle of the night. Hey, can you tell us your side of the story? I'm like, what side of the story? You guys already went out and spilled something. You made it into something. It's beyond smear, right?
Yeah.
It's a complete tarnish. It really destroys you, right? It's like they're a dog with a bone, and they're not leaving you alone. And
It's almost like you're living that Andrew Tate feel. You know what I mean?
I feel for him, right? The media, they have an agenda. It has to be evil, especially with people of minorities such as us. Other people that were in the exact same situation as me didn't even get a phone call from the police. They were just told by the boards that, hey, listen, you might want to retract your application. You know what I mean? And they were the same people that wrote the exam with me. Overseas. Really? Exact same ones. I can show that to you off camera.
That's great. No, for sure. I'd love to see it. You know what I mean?
But you know what I mean? I was the chosen one to barbecue, if you want to say that.
That's
right?
great. What barbecue? Roasted, bro.
Charcoal, man. So
man,
it was a hard one.
Hell and back.
Hell and back for sure.
But let's be honest. When you went through all that,
yeah,
who stood by your side? How many people exited your life was unbelievable.
A lot exited. I would say the majority did.
Yeah.
And
let's talk about that.
And the least expected people were the ones who came out of nowhere. Without even asking, they're like, do you need any help? Are you okay? That was the first question they asked. You were amongst them. Ali was amongst them.
I was at your back, man.
You from day one.
Donny Fat Cat. Nobody plays games with Donny Fat Cat. Donny Fat Cat's a legend.
People that you never expected just really came through with pure intentions, just asking if I was okay. That was the first thing they asked, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I
wasn't okay, right? It was shocking, right?
I couldn't even believe they had. I couldn't even believe when I first saw it. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
If you guys knew this guy, unbelievable. There's not a criminal bone in his body. You know what I mean?
It's not part of who I am, right? I'm just a hard worker, and you know, I got excited to go through a process that was gonna get me to where I wanted a little bit faster. I should have been more, aware, but I wrote it. I got in trouble for it. The people in charge of it actually got caught later on, and that's what pretty much exonerated my situation.
Can we tell them what it was about?
If you want, yeah, you can. There's certain specifics that I've been asked by my
just in general what they were trying to defame you for.
They were defaming me for trying to impersonate another dentist to take the dental boards here in Canada using his credentials. And that wasn't the case. I went through a process with an agency after I graduated dental school.
From where?
From Spain.
Right.
And
just so they know.
Yeah. And when I went through this agency, it's an American agency.
Yeah.
They provided me documentation. They made me do a bunch of exams and interviews and all this stuff that made them look pretty legit.
Yeah.
They had a website. They had an office in Boston where I had to go and visit them. And then at the end of the day, right, when I went through all their process and paid them fees, huge fees.
No, crazy. And they still took you.
And they still took my money.
That's insane.
And when I got in then anyways, I applied to the boards with the documentation that I quote unquote earned.
Which board? We're talking about
the dentistry board. To become a dentist here in Canada. And then basically they
CNIH or whatever it's called.
Sorry.
What is it called? What is the board called? CNIH or something like that?
The National Dental Examining Board, NDEB. But anyways, I applied with those documents that I quote unquote earned. Yeah. The boards actually notified me that they noticed it was
which you did earn, by the way. I remembered you vividly. Anyways,
the stuff with that agency Clearly, it wasn't mine.
No, I'm just saying you were actually legit from the jump.
And that's why the judge favored in my case said, "Hey, listen, I want to see you as a dentist in a few years. There's no ban on getting your dental license." Like and my lawyer defended it and said, "Yeah, this guy has a dental degree from abroad, from Europe. He's legit." And that helped. And that helped at the end of the day. But when the agency got caught, the American FBI was actually on it.
Really?
Yeah, my lawyers hired them. And
no way.
Yeah,
well, I guess they had to anyways, right?
Well, hey, listen, I was digging. I'm like, guys, I promise you, it wasn't me who hacked this university and changed all this stuff. It wasn't me.
Crazy.
It was these people. They're like, well, where are these people, right? I'm like,
how the hell would you know? You know what I mean?
3-4 months later, I find that my lawyers, these 2 Egyptian lawyers that I hired at the end, killed it. These guys, beautiful lawyers. And they went and
your people.
My people, man.
Hey, man, it's blessed, bro. You know what I mean? They got you out of it too. You know what I mean?
They went in and got them indicted through the FBI, and boom, there's my credibility.
Where did they find these guys, by the way?
Well, they were called the Mabna hackers. At the end of the day, that's how they were, and that's how they were caught. They noticed that they were entering a lot of university systems and hacking their research, their admin, their registrar's office, their student portals, everything.
What an operation.
It's a huge, not just that, they were going into government agencies, they were going into a whole bunch of stuff they're not supposed to be going through. And then they were selling these credentials overseas to, I don't want to say to which people, because I really don't know.
More like hacks or something like that.
Yeah, they had their clientele, right? And maybe for themselves as well. But 12 of those guys, including the one that was my quote-unquote agent, right there, with his name, with his picture exactly as described. And then, the prosecutor is like, okay, frig, like, what are we going to do?
That's
right?
crazy.
So anyways, at the end of the day, it worked out. Unfortunately, I had to get roasted. But what happened, right? You build up again. Like, I wasn't going to end my life over it. You know what I mean? I was 29 when it happened. I was a kid. I just turned 35 last week. And now...
Happy birthday,
Thank you, man. And now I'm
a piece of shit, by the way. I don't even know if I called you or anything.
You did.
Did I?
I think so. I'm sure I saw something.
My memory nowadays, man, is shot.
It's okay. I don't even live in Ottawa, right? I live in Toronto. So, but either way, I remember getting something from you and the guys.
Show some love.
For sure, man. At least. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I had to rebuild, back on track for that. And now I have my 2 other businesses, my trading company.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So what are you doing exactly?
Exactly?
Yeah.
I operate my own 2 companies. One of them is an IT company. So in that company, we do a lot of... There's one particular thing I can't really discuss because of a few NDAs that I have signed.
That's fine.
But we produce equipment for a very large defense agency.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's one of those.
If I ever need help, I'll call you.
In that same company, I also do a lot of equipment for healthcare and the bigger.
So the pandemic must have been beautiful for you then.
Well, I didn't get into PPEs or any of that stuff. I was more focused into like surgical, medical, dental, and all that stuff. The sales and
did you see a boom in revenue
in that time?
In that time compared to now? Because I won't lie, anything COVID related, even for us, like the COVID numbers, even for most people I've spoken to about business, a lot of COVID numbers and today's numbers, they don't match. There's a big drop in revenue, right? Because it was such a boom. It was very good.
Well, you know what? I was actually really happy with the pandemic. My business grew big time in the pandemic.
100%.
Especially my international business. So my overseas clients, they were obviously more interested to buy. And at that point, I was able to sell a lot more, ship a lot more.
Yeah.
So that was fine.
So that was the medical equipment and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, medical technology mostly. Yeah. So I stayed in the tech side of that IT department.
Well, Toronto's a completely different market.
It's a bigger animal, right? And I love it.
Completely different market. Even mindset and everything.
In general, right? It's a business capital. Here, it's a government town, so people.
Literally, what do they say? That 80% of anybody that lives in Ottawa works for some form of government, whether 100%. It's municipal, provincial, federal.
It's the fact, right? So people who are more institutionalized like this, they're very careful about spending, even at lunchtime or something like that. Every dollar is sacred to them, and I respect that, right? Like, if you're going to control your money, this is the best place to be. But if you want to grow, you want to have business, you want to have some more financial freedom, the big cities are where it's at.
Go to the big cities, deal with the traffic in Toronto.
Deal with the traffic.
You know what I mean? Get the point A to point B. It's crazy. So the Torontonians have like 2-hour commutes on average.
Yeah, that's fact. Yeah.
I feel like the second I hit a 20-minute drive, I'm gonna pass out. I swear.
Here in Ottawa?
Oh my god, man! If it's from like, as an example, from here to Orleans, let's say, I'm
that's a big one.
crying.
Yeah.
Crying. I'm like, there's no way. Don't take me to the 15 minutes. That's it. Leave me alone. You know,
be central.
it's great. You know, as soon as I hit the 40-minute mark, I used to have Subhi have to drive me everywhere.
Really?
SB had to drive me everywhere because if it was 30 minutes plus, I don't know what it is. I had like the Zamar syndrome.
Would
I would just switch off and I'm like this. You know, there's a time we went to the States.
Hey man, you have a Range Rover. That's a comfortable car. You get in 30 minutes, that's when you're sleeping.
I'm like this.
Get yourself a beater or something. You'll be okay, man.
Well, it's crazy. I remember one time it was a piece of shit, man. We went to the States to go do, what was the name of that thing? Black Friday shopping.
Okay.
Black Friday shopping in the States is nuts.
You know, I've never shopped on Black Friday my whole life.
Here it's a joke.
I've never done it. I've always saw the commercials. I've saw the people getting all excited about it, but I've never stepped out of my house or my office.
The States
on that day. I saw the videos. Yeah.
Is crazy. I remember when we went there, there was like nine of us, and we're all like big looking goons, you know what I mean? And we all look scary, you know what I mean? Generally, I'm a huge guy. I'm a pretty big guy, I'd say. SP's even bigger. Then you had Donny, you had everybody there. Gaddafi, everybody was with us.
Gaddafi.
Yeah, one of our boys.
Okay.
So there was like there was 9 of us there, bro. And I remember it was one of my guys, shout out to Donovan Roffington, is a good man. I used to work with him in Myers, Hyundai, and Bell's Corners.
Okay.
And he was from Plainsfield, New Jersey. Anyways, he was telling me all the things about Black Friday.
Sure.
And he's like, listen, man, go on a Thursday. The deals on the Thursday is going to be the same on the Friday. So go on like the Thursday evening. It was overnight. The places were open overnight. I remember we get there on the Thursday.
Okay.
First of all, getting into the States with 3 Arabs in the car.
Oh man,
that's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say.
I've been in that
and there was
situation
3 cars behind us. We're all going as an entourage. Only 9 of us made it in. Anyways, we get there. They give us a hard time. Actually, it was not so bad, but it was a hard time a little bit yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we get to the States. And then anyways, we start shopping or whatever. And I'm like, man, this is insanity. I swear to God, I think I dropped like $1,200.
Okay. Clothes?
Bro, I got like 3 wardrobes. It was insane. It was insane.
For 1,200 US?
1,200 Canadian, bro.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So whatever the conversion rate was at that time, it was insane. This is what? 2014 or something like that. 2015.
Okay.
I don't even remember.
Days,
It was around one of those 2 years. I don't want to say 2014.
Yeah.
The end of 2014. So anyways, we get there, bro. And I remember it wasn't so busy yet. So I'm like, man, everybody's a liar, man. I'm here. Where's the zoo? Where's the jungle? I'm ready for the action, you know? 12 o'clock hits, bro.
12 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
12 a.m. hits. I swear. Out of nowhere. It was like a goddamn zoo. It was crazy. Crazy. People bumping into each other.
At a shopping center or what?
This was at, man, I wish SB was here to tell you. I mean, I'm the worst with destinations. I can't even tell you.
It's all good.
I know we started off in Syracuse and all the other places. I don't remember what the other ones were called.
Okay.
I know there's Syracuse, Watertown, and there's a couple more.
Woodbury?
Maybe.
Yeah, big outlet mall kind of thing.
I was passing out on the drives, bro. I couldn't tell you. Forget about
Long
the
as 30
GPS,
minutes,
bro. Don't wake me up when I'm there. You know what I mean? Anyways, 12 o'clock hits, bro. Crazy, man.
Yeah. They get pretty
People are bumping into us, and we're looking like, wow, like, yo, these people are pretty, like, you know, very pushy, man. I'm starting to get frustrated how many times I'm getting bumped into, you know? Anyways, I guess so one of the guys picks up like Jordans and whatever, yeah. And then I guess you hear things from Canada compared to the States, right?
Well, we see the videos of people knocking each other down, grabbing televisions.
Exactly.
And, you know, it looks crazy, as you said. It looks,
bro,
so like something I'd never want to be part of.
So a couple of guys ended up getting like Air Jordans. Okay, you see how we're dressed. This is how we dress. But anyways, they like the urban wear, whatever.
Sure.
So they buy some Jordans, and there was a dude there was a couple guys that kept following us, and I'm like, man.
Okay.
And the intuition just kicked in. You know what I mean? Right away. You know, I caught them from the corner of my eye. I'm like, guys, One thing, it's funny, man. I can't say he taught this to me. He was a very influential person somewhere, but he told me, Frankie, mind your surroundings, you live forever.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the first thing that popped up. His voice, you know what I mean? Little popped up in my head, and then right away I noticed
Something was up, right?
I'm like, man, these guys have balls. There was like 3 of them or like 4 of them. There's 9 of us, and everybody's bigger than the other. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Everybody's capable,
Big brawl, right? It's about
crazy, man. It was what pulls out a knife. They tried to rob with the Jordans. It was a brawl. Cops came.
You guys okay?
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was a good time. You know what I mean? It was a good man.
Getting attacked in New York.
I couldn't believe the cops come and then they try to arrest us. I'm like, man, we just came shopping.
Victims here. Yeah.
I gotta admit, man, what was very nice. There's a bunch of people that were screaming and. I can't even believe we didn't get World Star. You know what I mean? Because that was the time of the World Star. World Star.
This still happens, man. Ali does it all the time. Everyone in his warehouse.
Man, that's the worst. So I couldn't believe it. We didn't get World Star. It was going nuts.
Oh man,
I couldn't believe these guys had the balls for them on 9 monsters. It wasn't even David and Goliath anymore, bro.
No.
You know what I mean? It was like the elephant and the ant story, but it was. Anyways,
you ever watched WWF when you were growing up? Wrestling?
No.
WWE, all that stuff?
No.
Like The Rock?
I was just a crazy Mike Tyson fan.
Oh, really? Well,
That's
there's this thing called the Royal Rumble, right? It's when all the wrestlers would come in and start beating each other up.
Oh, yeah. I used to play the video game. That's what I used to say. Yeah, you used to throw them out of the ring.
I used to watch the pay-per-view for the Royal Rumble. It was the biggest event in wrestling, right? And this literally just sounds like it, man.
It was nuts, man.
Yeah.
Even when we were shopping in the stores, it was mayhem.
Yeah.
At some point, I remember I had something in my hand. I don't remember what it was. And then some guy just comes and grabs it. And I just grab him like, you don't see me. You don't see me. I'm holding this.
Yeah.
I just try to steal it out of my hands. I want this, whatever.
But look at the people, right? They're like sheep. They're told there's a sale. As if this sale, their life depends on it, right? Look what they're doing. They're acting like animals.
100%.
No cognition, nothing. And they're just going and grabbing things out of your hand, pulling a knife.
Are nuts.
Is it really worth it though?
No, it was my first and last time anyways, you know what I mean? It's never I went back again because I'm like, man, I got to get ready for a brawl here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Could have been your life, man. God forbid.
But one thing that's nuts is for some reason, even the electronics in the States compared to Canada, I remember I was trying to buy I know it's a little tangent, but I was trying to, because I was all a Samsung guy. Everything I had was Samsung. I just converted to Apple, you know what I mean? But
nice, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it, actually. It was a long time
Apple guys, we love them.
I love Apple, man. I don't even know how it took me so goddamn long. Oh. The ecosystem and all that. But anyways, I thought Samsung did the same. So I had Samsung since like the beginning, bro.
Okay, cool.
After the Blackberries, actually. I had the 3GS.
We all started with the Blackberries, yeah. I had the Pearl, and then I went right into
the World, Pearl, Bold, you know what I mean? Those were the days, you know what I mean? BBMs and all that. But anyways, I remember I was trying to buy with a laptop, the Samsung Galaxy Pro 2 or whatever. I was just trying to make everything Samsung, tablet, all that.
Yeah, being consistent there.
And then, so this is on the pre-order, right? So anyways, I open up the site and I see the specs. I'm like, okay. Let's say it was like $1,800 or some shit like that.
Okay.
$2,000. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, I'll get to it. Something happened. You know what I mean? I try to go back on the Samsung website. I'm like, what the hell just happened, man? It's like $1,400. I'm looking at the specs. I'm like, man, it's way better. What just happened? You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I go purchase, whatever. Then it starts telling you about zip code and address in the United States.
Okay.
USPS. I'm like, are you kidding me, man? You're telling me the same product that we're getting is inferior compared to the laptop in the States. I know it's a tangent, but I was so mad. And then the MacBook came, you know what I mean? And I was super happy with the MacBook.
And you've been with that ever since?
I'm a convert, bro.
You're a convert?
I'm a revert at this point.
Yeah, man. That's intense, man. I don't know. I was never into the shopping game.
I hate shopping, bro.
You know what I mean? Like there's days I like to go out and get some things here and there, but that's it, right? I'm more focused on cars, for example. That's my thing.
Cars, eh?
Don't get me started, man.
Cars, eh? Speaking about the Tundra, eh?
Oh, yeah, the Tundra.
You almost got shoved out the door.
Oh, man, you can't shove me out. Don't ever mess with my business is one thing.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm picking
They thought you were an exporter. Racial profiling here from another fellow Egyptian. Can you believe that?
He's been handled already.
Yeah? Did you end up getting the Tundra?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I have the check in the car, and Friday morning, it's my collection.
Blessed. I won't lie to you. When I used to work at Toyota, Amazing vehicles, top to bottom.
Oh, they are. The new ones especially are something else.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I remember when because you have to do these training sessions and they take you on learning drives.
When you were working there?
Yeah.
Dealing?
So even the last time when I was, 2016, 2017, something
Was
like
it that long ago? I remember when you were there. Yeah.
Wow, it's already been over 5 years I've been doing this.
You picked me up in a RAV4 at Ali's restaurant.
That's right.
It was a brand new one. You just had picked it up that day with 0 clicks or something.
That's right.
And we were driving back to Ottawa.
But those were the loaner cars. I get to take the demo cars, they call them.
And it was expensive,
Exactly.
It was like, what, something, 50
No,
something?
compared to now, prices are out of whack.
Yeah.
Prices are out of whack. I couldn't even believe it. I couldn't believe a 2018 Toyota Camry. That was the redesign.
Yeah, which is a very nice car. Yeah.
Beautiful car. Beautiful. Everything was off the Texas line. That's how bad I want to move to Texas. Like it's literally on my mind. The Lexus lineup was fantastic. So you know what was that same learn and drive? They were showing us this video, and there was a Tundra that had 1 million miles on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
these cars, they can handle it, eh?
And it was, let's say, like a 2015, 2014. It wasn't old, but it was part of a construction fleet.
Okay.
And in the States, those big construction fleets, I guess what they do is they go from state to state. So here you go from, it's all over Ontario, but they're state to state, right?
Okay.
So next thing you know, anyways, it was 1 million miles. They traded it in. They said, you know what? We want to take it back to the factory. They take it apart. The engine was OEM, or I should say original, hasn't been changed. Transmission, the whole thing.
Just
1 million miles, eh? Mm-hmm. Or it could be 1 million, or it could be 1 million kilometers just converted to miles. One of the two, but that's crazy.
The number
mileage.
1 million's there somewhere.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a lot either way.
That's 7 figures there. Anyways, so what they did is they threw it on a Navy ship. Okay. So they wanted to test the rigidity of this car.
What, it's pulling off a Navy ship now?
No, they dumped it in the water.
Really?
They threw it in the water. So they welded on hooks.
Okay.
They put on the anchors. They throw it in the sea.
Okay.
They lose it, bro. I guess it unhooks, you know what I mean? They lose it. So anyways, their sonars pick it up. They pick up, so they end up grabbing it. And I don't know, what do they call CAA towing to grab that shit from the sea?
Imagine
you know what I mean?
Ottawa Metro, right?
The Ottawa Metro's picking that shit up, you know what I mean?
Those little scammers.
There you go. So they grab it out of the sea.
Yeah.
They bring it back to the plant. They drain all the fluids. They replace the fluids. Turnkey.
No way.
Crazy, man.
See, I bought the new 2023 Tundra for my company, for my staff doing the IT stuff.
Yeah.
They need something to carry the weight.
By the way, is everything in house? Like all your staff is all in house, or any contractors that you guys are?
Everything's in house. I don't.
That's easy to control.
Based on the NDAs that I had to sign with certain clients.
No,
everything has to be in house.
It's way easier to control, anyways.
Oh, much better.
Staffing is the biggest challenge, I should say.
Well, I remember back there, I used to have a second cup with my father, and we had turnover of staff all the time, right? So I didn't want to get into that again. So I wanted professionals. I wanted people with, that depend on this job as a career. You know what I mean? It's not 9 to 5. This is a 9 to 9, all that stuff. But they're getting paid. They're doing meaningful work, and they stick, right? You treat them well. You give them their dues, and you provide them something nice to drive as well. And they're more comfortable, right? So I had to get the Tundras.
Over the top. Don't tell me gas, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah. Well, hey, listen, man. They're carrying heavy equipment for the base, right?
Like, and listen, with gas prices nowadays, God bless it's not diesel.
Oh, definitely not a diesel.
God bless it's
I sold
diesel.
my Mercedes SUV that was a diesel because it was the diesel price.
$2 and some. Even I think it's still $2 right now for a liter. It's insane.
Something like that. I remember the height of it is when I sold it was $265 a liter. I sold it and I went back to S class right away. And
well, let's be honest, you've always been a Benz guy, bro.
The most biased man in the world
all day
for Mercedes Benz, yeah.
This is the most biased man when it comes to German vehicles. Benzes all day.
The problem is,
I still remember when you got that one brand new, you had to unwrap it out the box. It was the S class.
Yeah. It's always an S class, man. I love those cars.
Typical.
But I'm not biased. I'm just saying the facts, right? Like they just show up to any competition and they finish them off. BMW has had such a hard time.
I love BMW.
I used to, but Benz just really knows.
You
how
know
to
what?
put them
I
in a
feel
headlock.
Benz's interior is more
refined,
luxurious, and they have more options. I don't know about now. It's been a while since, like you said, I have a Range Rover, right? But I found back in the days BMW's interior were so basic. You know what I mean?
Were the
Even
interiors.
No, I know, but like I found they were very basic compared to Benz.
Yeah.
but I love the body style because I had the F10 or whatever it was.
Mhm. Oh, I love that one.
I love that.
5 Series, the 535
I had the 535
I like
XI.
that car a lot. Yeah.
I loved it, man.
I
Great
loved it
sound
too.
system. I had the what was it called? The Dakota leather, the saddle seats.
The dark brown.
Oh man,
that was an elegant car, man.
I don't even remember the name of that color.
The exterior?
No, the interior was cinnamon brown. I don't
Something
remember.
like that, yeah.
It was beautiful,
But you
man.
had a nice exterior color. It was carbon black.
It was carbon Schwartz.
Schwartz is black
man,
in German,
yeah,
you know.
Carbon Schwartz, you know. That's not fancy. Now I'm in a Range Rover. I love Range Rover. Man, smoothest car.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I love the air ride.
I like it too.
I hate the maintenance.
Is it bad?
It's unbelievable. Man,
I heard.
that thing is in the shop every other week. I swear to God.
Do you plan on upgrading it, or you just want to ride it out?
Honestly, they're beautiful, man. I do want to say yeah. I do want to say yeah. At the time being, when I bought the car, it was just for a flip piece. I had the truck. I didn't even care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was buying it as a flip piece. And then I said, you know what? I'll carry it for the winter. Man, it was incredible in snow.
They're
That
the best in winter.
gravel mud program.
That's what it's made for, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's
That's
incredible.
literally what it's made for. And
Beautiful, man. I had zero problem. I still had the 22s with the all seasons. I wasn't even wearing. I didn't even have. I'm wearing. I didn't even have 20. I didn't even have.
I understand the car
winter
lingo very good,
tires.
bro.
You know what I mean?
It's all good.
The reason why I'm laughing is because it reminds me that, you know what? One thing I never. If I ask a stupid question, it drives me crazy. And I remember the dumbest question I've ever asked is I remember I have a boy. His name is Dugma. His name is Ali. We call him Dugma.
Why?
And he brought because he likes to push buttons, and that's what it means. You know what I mean? And the crazy part, so he had a CLS Benz at that time, fresh. Beautiful.
CLS? I like
It was beautiful. I still love the CLS, but when he had it at that time being, it was fresh. And then he just got brand new rims, 20 inches, with beautiful tires, whatever. And I'm like, man, how much did you get these for? And he's like, his cousin shipped them from whatever country that was. I think it was a desert country. It was one of the Arab countries. I don't remember which one. And then I'm like, how much did you get it for? He's like, $500 American. I'm like, yo, that's for the whole thing, for the rims and the tires.
What?
I'm like, bro, that's incredible. Do they have winter tires? I told him, do you have winter tires? He looks at me. He's like, man, are you okay? It's a fucking desert. Why would they have winter tires in the desert? That's why I was laughing when I said that.
Oh, man.
But I didn't even have winters on, man. Thing was incredible. I was plowing through the whole place. Yeah. I went to go sell it. So I said, I'll keep it for the winter, family car. Summertime, as soon as the springtime comes and the gas, I was literally just posting it. I had some inquiries. Gas hits and khalas, it was
Instantly.
over.
It was crazy.
Forget it, Habibi. This whole thing is shut down. Nobody wants to buy it anymore. I had it posted since last April. You know what I mean? Nobody wants it.
And that was the old body style where everything was made of steel. And
exactly. It was a 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, that's when they really were all about strength and durability and all that stuff. The new ones are great. I'm planning on leasing one very soon. The full size.
Yeah. I do want. Were you looking for the sport or
no? The full size.
I love the HSE.
Yeah, the new one's autobiography.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not the extended. I like the short one, so it can fit in my garage. I like the shape too, but I'm speccing one out right now. But every time I spec it, I'm trying to.
That's a tax write-off. You're leasing it anyways, right on.
But every time I do it and I look at the value, and I look at the value of the new S580 or the new S63, there's within $1,000. I'm like, crap, man, I need to get the new S class as well.
You know, it's crazy, man. It's while we're talking about this, I'm just thinking about man, Donny Fat Cat during his issues, and Donny Fat Cat now, completely different people. You know what I mean?
It was a different time, man. It's
like, you know, that same pressure that makes diamonds makes coals too.
Yeah,
you were that diamond in the rough, man. And I'm telling you, the way you elevated out of that situation.
That situation took its time. And in that time, I had to learn a lot of hard lessons. I had to learn about people. I had to learn about faith. I had to learn about resilience. I had to learn about extreme hard work. It wasn't easy at all. You know, when they say if you want to reach the top, you're not going to take the elevator. It's not going to happen. You have to take the stairs.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Every step counts, right? And I had 1 million steps to climb, and I still have 1 billion steps to get to, right? At the end of the day, what I'm striving for is Jannah. That's it. You know what I mean? Whether I become a billionaire in a couple of years or I don't, it doesn't matter. as long as I'm doing it right, I'm doing it clean.
100%.
My people are happy and safe. My friends are okay. Everything is cool by the books. I have no issues.
Speaking of friends,
yeah.
I want to go back to when everybody got the news.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are running? Like, tell me about the experience. Was it your best friends? Was it
Yeah.
people that were close to you that was running away? I wanted to talk about that just to show you it's crazy how as soon as you get into a real time when you need real friends around you and you thought that was them, they're gone like the wind.
Yeah, that was, I was more like embarrassed and shocked and you know, I was curious, what the hell, right? Like, where are all these people going? Why are they, you know, people.
So how did it happen? Let's like, give me an example. Give me an example. One of your boys, is it you calling them? Are they calling you? Like, how did that work?
So a lot of my good friends, including you and Ali and my best friend Ozzy in Calgary, immediately call, hey, are you okay? Everything cool? I'm on the way. My boys growing up, Hamid and Sadek and these guys, they're all calling, checking up. My brother was overseas in France at the time. He called, hey, you good? Yeah, I'm okay. He's like, I'm on the way in a couple of days. Be cool. You know, just don't worry about what's going on. I know it's a lot of pressure. We're on the way. There's other people, my parents' friends included, right? Friends that I studied with in my bachelor's degree, who we kind of just stayed in contact with on social media with Facebook and all that stuff. They just messaged me, hey, listen, man, really sorry about what's going on. Can we come over to your house? Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Nice.
And these guys I haven't seen in years, right? But the lasting impression I had with them was I guess it was good, right?
Yeah.
And then I had people that I went to school with, or people in the neighborhood, or people in the same field, or whatever, right? Friends of friends, and they started hating. Oh my God, you know, people in general love bad news, right? They
love it.
They love seeing someone.
They love it.
Going through a hardship, but they love to judge. They don't know the whole story, and at the same time, there's a lot of people who don't know how to react to news, right? So they might just push themselves away.
Sure.
And people are afraid, right? And you can't, you know, what was put out there was scary for some people, and I don't blame them. But I'm not a dangerous person. I'm not a threatening person, right? I'm always, in general, like I've always been a giving and generous person, from what I know.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like I've never hurt anyone. I never.
I know
would
your
hurt
character.
anyone.
Yeah.
But it was just shocking that all those people that I've fed over the years, or I've provided jobs for, or helped out in any way, shape, or form, they gave me their back, or they just ran like there's no tomorrow, right? I never confronted any of them about it. I forgive them, of course. You know what I mean?
Which is very big of you.
For me to move on with my own life, and
Very
that's
big
what
of
I'm
you.
doing. Hey, you know what? You didn't want to hear the story? It's okay. I wish it doesn't happen to you.
But how did they leave? So did they say anything to you, or they just stopped taking your call?
Some people did speak to me. They're like, hey, listen, because we had, you know, some things going on, whether it was business or, you know, careers, prospects.
How did they make
stuff.
their exit?
First, it was silence, right? Silence always has its profound loudness, right? So you can kind of understand, you can understand them with what they...
Did you have anybody ever? I'm waiting for that one guy that was like, Omar, I got to stay away from you.
Yeah, there was one guy. I'm not going to say his name. Least expected. Least expected. He was one of my mentors.
But he was one of your best friends?
One of my mentors, actually.
Mentors.
Yeah, he's like, man, this is scary. It's like, I don't know you. It's like, this is coming out of a movie. How could you do this?
It was a movie, man. Out of nowhere, the one guy you'd never expect to be on the news. If you anything, you'd be like, "Hey, this guy's gonna get an award in dentistry on the news," you know? Not like that. That was not an award.
I remember one guy messaging me. He's like, "Man, they couldn't find a bad picture of you. You're smiling and all."
What a mugshot!
They weren't even mugshots. They were pictures of my social media stuff of being happy, and they're pictures of me in dental school too, right, or whatever. It's just like old photos.
Isn't that nuts?
Yes,
dental school too. And this is what they're trying to claim in your eyes.
And they're doing this, but I have to admit, there was like, you know, the faculty of dentistry where I studied. They came through. They're like, "Hey, that was our student. Dude, he's legit. He's cool. He's
That's
a transcript." You know what I mean? They stood up for me, right? So,
were they just genuine good people, or were you good to them and they were reciprocating as well?
Well, everything, right?
It's karma, I guess. You know, you do good on others; they do good by you.
Yeah. And then there's other people, you know, like who exited out of my life, which is fine. One of my neighbors was very weird about it. Every time she would see me, she would literally bolt into her house.
Really?
Yeah, dead serious.
Well, it was a nice neighborhood too.
Gorgeous neighborhood, yeah. And one of my other neighbors, he surprised me. We don't talk that much, but I remember, I think I was about 20 or 21 at the time. I was a kid. He had a daughter. She was about 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
And I was walking home. I was getting the mailbox. You know, like our house, there's a mailbox at the end of the road.
Yeah,
I was
the
getting
community
mail from
mailbox.
there, and she fell down, that kid. And I saw her fall. And she hurt her head, and she was like not fainting, but she was throwing up, and she was going through a hard time. And I remember carrying her and getting to her house and calling an ambulance and taking her to the hospital. This is way before this, by many years. And when this situation happened to me, I found that man, the father of that girl, knock on my door. He's like, I'm really sorry for what you're going through. If and when you're ready to speak, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and hear your side of the story.
Yeah.
I know, and this is a white man, right? So he told me, he's like, I know what these people are capable of doing to minorities, but I'm ready to write a letter to the judge to write about your character.
Wow.
That was the first person that even offered. I didn't know this is something that you can do, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm prepared to write a letter about your character. I'm like,
Character
man,
witnesses.
I've never met you before in my life. He's like, you saved my daughter's life 10 years ago or something like that.
That's incredible. So
I'm
that's
like,
a Donny fact guy. I know.
he remembered that, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's his daughter, right? But that was the kind of good karma that happened from it, right? So like, you don't know what's going on. And then there's friends I went to high school with and university with who were reposting this, you know, and laughing and sending it to each other.
Isn't that crazy, man? You know, I'll tell you something, you know, the cowards love it when they see a hero finally fall.
The one particular coward chip that I personally scratched in my head and I said to myself, there's no way that people can look at me like this, is when I found out there was a WhatsApp group made by some of these people I was telling you about.
No.
That they had a bet whether I was going to commit suicide or whether
Wow.
I was going to get
Really?
convicted. Yeah.
They prey on their downfalls, man.
Both and they're both negative outcomes, right? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make sure all these guys, both sides, lose. I'm going to make sure that I beat the hell out of this case. I'm going to come out of it stronger than ever and become better than ever.
What you did?
I don't know yet, right? Like we're still working, right? You cannot evaluate yourself until you've retired, right? We're just working right now. But that's the one that really, really pushed the envelope for me. I'm glad I shut it down, but I took note of who it was, and I made sure that my path never crosses with people like that ever again.
I would never bother.
I'm a quiet guy now, right?
I'd never bother with these kind of guys, man. You know, it's crazy. I remember I always wanted the big crowds when I was young and all that other stuff, you know, family. Now I'm so selective. It's unbelievable.
You have to.
And one thing I don't keep around, you know, because I learned my lesson. You know what? I've helped out a lot of people. Man, I've carried a lot of people on my shoulders.
I know.
You know what I mean? Unbelievable. I pay their rent. I used to everything. You know, they're crying. I got an eviction notice, and I'm listening to their story. Yeah. What happened? I haven't been able to pay the rent. Their parents are fresh here. And I'm like, I genuinely don't want them their parents to be homeless. And I make up some kind of excuse. I'll be right back, whatever. I come back. Here you go. Here's the rent money. No. Frankie, it's okay, bro. It's okay. I said, listen, it's not up to you. I want to do it for me. You know what I mean? Go take care of your family. Here you go.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're the realest brother. I love you, man. And I'm like, I love you too. You know what I mean?
But this is from your upbringing, right? And this is from our culture and community that we all
support one another.
Who needs to eat, he's going to eat.
But you know what? I read
we're not cheap like that.
Then later on, and obviously that's the same one of the, man, I've been stabbed so many times. My back looks disgusting from how many times I've been stabbed there, you know?
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking.
Of course. I was kind of imagining a stab back, you know? Sorry.
Don't even.
God forbid.
Man, it's almost like at this point, I literally, the one thing I realized out of all these experiences, and you know me, you know, a very fulfilling life. Life was like a movie for me.
I remember very, very well your situations.
And one thing from the bottom of my heart, I truly believe, the one guy I'll never keep around is the desperate man.
The desperate one?
The ones that are desperate, Because that, you know how they say desperate times calls for desperate measures? They will do anything to get out of that situation. It's almost like a rat in a bucket and trying to get out of that. They'll chew their way through. So even if they got to throw you under the bus, they will. The people that all care, everyone talks about, you know, you see these influencers that talk about, hey man, we only want people that are rich. No. I will take the guy that's broke, but that's ambitious, and that's working his ass off, you know what I mean, to get to where he wants to be. You know what I mean? But I'm super selective with that desperate man, never. You know what I mean? It's like, watch that friend that you feed, because that's the same man that can bite the hand that feeds him. You know what I mean?
100%.
And obviously in your situation, it happened, and they're coming out of the woodworks, bro. You're like, man, this is a guy that, you know, we were in the trenches with, and I'm speaking, you know, metaphorically. We're not at war and all these criminal we're talking, you know, you're studying and all that. That itself is a struggle, man.
It is,
you know
a
what I mean?
struggle,
To go through what you went through, man. You know, like while we're out there having fun, you were sitting there buckled down to the books. But you live somewhere nice. You're living in Valencia, Port City, going to Marbella. You know what I mean? But
I was enjoying my life, right? When I had time to, right? Keep in mind, while I was studying, I was also working to keep myself afloat.
of course,
as my parents were sending, you know, my tuition and all that stuff, and I was very
Little care
blessed
packages.
for that. Sorry?
little care packages or something.
I wish I got a care package. You got a phone call, finish up fast. This is expensive. But, you know, yes, 100%. But I was striving to get into a career that was, you know, a very reliable career with great opportunities.
You loved it, bro.
I love dentistry, and
You were annoying about it.
I was very annoying about it. It was my passion, right?
Exactly.
It still is. But people have a hard time getting to dental school. It's very difficult to get into it. And then
100%.
those who didn't get in, or people that said, "Hey, this guy's gonna be doing big things one day," they started to hate a lot, right?
100%.
And that energy, you know, definitely you can feel it when you come back to town and they're like, "Oh man, how's dental school?" And then, you know, they're like, "Oh, fuck this guy," or whatever.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
That's when you know you're doing something good. Hate all you want.
Hate
know what I
all
mean?
you want, man. And it's not that. Like, I didn't care. Like, my friends group, I thought were always good, right? They were
course.
all like, you know, in the same kind of field as me. But it was the least expected situation. You know, it's funny enough, just a couple of days ago, one guy that I was recently, it's about a few months, we've been hanging out, and then he asked me about the situation. He read up on it, and boom, he literally excused himself. No, I'm too scared and all that stuff. I'm like,
Too scared about what, man?
6 years ago, it's
What are you, a
and done.
goddamn terrorist fugitive?
He's like, the article said this, and that. I'm like, the article is an allegation. The truth is what happened in the court. I'm out. I'm chilling. I'm doing way bigger, better things now. I made a huge comeback. What are you afraid of? But at the same time, do your thing. Go.
I love that
get
comeback.
out. Get out. Stay as far as possible. Thank you for, you know, they say you just pull a thorn right out of your neck or something like that.
Yeah.
Like boom, like that.
It's the best.
Out and about, and you feel such a relief when you find pricks like that out and about. But the weird thing is, the least expected is who stood by me, and
That's a fact.
and I would just never expected it, right? Like, God sends people your way all the time. You never know who you're going to impact and how they're going to impact you in a positive way.
I always say, you know, watch your people,
You never know.
because they can be a blessing that was sent to you. Imagine if you break the heart and you're sat there,
yeah.
that you literally just shout on a blessing that was sent to you. You know what I mean?
Always treat people with respect. And that's one thing I was always doing my whole life, was I never undercut from anyone. I never, you know, made anyone feel less or more than what they were. I was, you know.
Yeah, and you were in a very fortunate situation. You wouldn't tell. Compared to a lot of us, you know what I mean?
It was always, everybody that
Humble.
I met was a friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay, you know. At least I know who's who, and I'm glad to see my friends doing really well now, right? So
It's crazy, yeah.
it's amazing. It's the most beautiful thing ever, right?
Yeah.
When we all link up in a parking lot and we're having a nice cup of tea.
You still have to do the PLP, the parking lot pimping. You know what I mean? You got to keep it classic.
You know, you put on your music, your cars, you know, you feel good, you feel
Live in a
fresh.
nice house in Manatee. Yeah, hey, listen, you try to go to the Tim Hortons parking lot, I'll be there. You know what I mean?
Of course, man. It just that get together, that glamour shot, right? That everybody just, you know, feeling good. You know, Ali, our friend, he's one of the most people that I'm so proud of, because everything he's done and all the success he has, he literally showers his family first. His mom, his dad.
Well, that was his whole
sisters.
purpose, was to get them out of the hood. They were living in an ish block.
Irregardless, man, he stayed true to that. And anyone who ever needed anything to work or anything, this man, is people call him Ali Big Head, right? I call him Ali Big Heart or Fat Life.
You call him Fat Life, bro. What are you talking about, man?
But it's a good
You can
life.
be real here, man. You call him Fat Life. I don't even know Ali Big Heart.
He's my boy, man. But he's got the biggest heart you've ever.
No, 100%.
You know
I don't
this
disagree.
more than anyone.
I've
bro.
known him since I was a kid.
Yeah, like he
I've known him since Dorchester days.
I don't even know where that is.
That's on Shillington, right beside Caldwell. When I used to live. When I say if I've known you since Dorchester days,
That's when we first came.
I was a baby.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's how long I've known I.
Yeah, man. The guy, he impressive all around, loyal, like you've never seen. Like I said, huge heart, but always there for you. He was literally the first friend that called, worried. He's like, "Where are you? I'm coming to pick you up."
Yeah.
And at the same day, he's like, because I lost my job that day, right? He's like, "I have a job for you right
Yeah,
now."
you were deemed dangerous.
He's
Bro,
like,
who are we
"You come
talking
to-"
about? How you thought this man is dangerous? Crazy.
You know what I mean? So it's just like that, and I just love seeing his chapters, his growth, his success, yours, Ice's, everybody. They've all had their up and coming, right?
Ice is coming down to Texas with me, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing there?
I love his nickname.
Ice?
You know why we
I
call
call him Ice Cream? Because he's the kindest guy in the world.
Smooth.
And you guys were nicknamed him Ice Killer because of the ice and pick thing that he was breaking the driveway with?
That's the best story, man.
The story, the
we
image
caught
alone.
him in minus 40 in fucking shorts, wife beaters, and sandals, shoveling snow. I'm like, what are you fucking
Bro, he
doing?
wasn't
Trying to kill
shoveling
the
snow.
ice.
He was using an ice pick and shoveling with that. And I heard that
man.
story and I couldn't stop laughing. Because he has got that long hair. And
He's never gotten rid of it. Can you believe that?
I know, he's
He's
never
always had long hair.
but just that image of him killing the ice, as you guys were
Oh, that's
calling
the
it.
best.
But the guy, he's far from that image, right? Because he's just so cool and relaxed and funny and just humble, you know?
Yeah.
I always call him Ice Cream, right? Because he's the total opposite. So-
Man, I'm proud of everybody. You know what I mean?
yes, big time. Big time.
One of the, see, like I said, we were talking before we came on the show. I was talking about when I was saying what I was about to do. One of the themes I'm trying to do here is basically is rich humble. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's everyone wants money, but what's your purpose for it? You know what I mean? Is it just for yourself? And at the end of the day, when you die, you ain't taking it to the grave.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So
staying here.
100%. You ain't taking it nowhere. You know what I mean? What are you gonna have a bank down there? So for me, as an example, there's a difference between greed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just wanting the money, and I always talk about, for me, it's providing something of value and focusing on the service. If you're willing to give back genuinely, like a lot of the guys that I talk to and that I mentor in terms of business, and especially in networking, right? Because you know how they talk about there's I don't know if you ever heard of the term network, like Casanova. But Casanova was a very smooth talker or whatever, and there's different there's different ways to network.
Okay.
In terms of one's the flirt, one's the researcher, you know what I mean? But one of the things that I always advise is actually genuine. So in business, it's always good to have more entrepreneurs and more business owners in your corner.
Yeah.
But the thing is you have to be able to provide them with something you have to be genuine. People can really cut through the bullshit. You know what I mean? It's very easy to cut through the bullshit nowadays, but everybody thinks that they're better than the other and they can always one up and put a little veil over your face and they think they'll get away with it, but it's not true. You know what I mean? So I always advise, one of the things that I like to say is you know, actually genuinely pick up the phone. If you get a cold call and try to reach out to another business owner or whatever so you can network, I don't know what you're doing, marketing or whatever, and you're going to genuinely call him, you know, and check up on this and talk to him. Obviously they'll be alarmed, you know, who's this random guy trying to call me and sell me something? Every time I get a call nowadays, someone's trying to sell me a service. Don't sell them anything. Ask them genuinely. Tell them who you are. You know what I mean? Hey, my name is Frankie. I'm the CEO of Monarchy Build. You know, I'm reaching out to you, Omar. You know, I just want to see how your business is going. How is your business doing now? You know, what challenges are you facing? You know, it's always good to have another entrepreneur or businessman in your corner. How can I genuinely help you in your business? Maybe there's a contact I know I can help you out with. I swear to you, that's magical. Because they'll be like, wow, this guy's coming from he's coming from a place of help.
Of course,
He's not coming from a place of, I want something from you.
Yeah.
It's a very ugly trait when someone just comes up and it's like,
no one likes a door-to-door salesman, right? So
I've been one for a long time, man. Great networking, great marketing, but
it's facts, right? But like in general, when you are getting to know a potential client or a lead, always get to know everything about them, right? Understand them, what they like, what they do for fun, what's important to them, and all that stuff. And when you have your second or third phone call or meetup, you guys have a base to start off the conversation with, right? You remember, for example, that last week he had to go to Costco, for example, after work. He was in a rush to get his kid a birthday cake or something like that. Hey, how was the birthday? Did you get the cake okay?
Thoughtful, man. Sentimental.
And he'll start talking about that, right? Oh, the party was great. The kids had a good time, and my wife was, chilling.
Leaving a lasting impression.
Lasting impressions, right? And then you build and build and build up from there, right? So get to know your customer and also your relationship with money, right? What do you want it to be, right?
100%.
So make sure that your need for success is only for you, not for anyone else to see. Right. You never say, oh, my plans are ABC. Even our prophet, peace be upon him, said that, right? When you are working, stay in silence, right? Do not share your information. Do not tell your plans and all that stuff. Work, and then,
I have a thing, we're running out of time, but one thing I want to leave on a note is I have a thing where basically it's three things for me in business and in life. Be genuine, be honest, be honorable. As long as you do those three, you'll be okay in most situations.
I like to add with it, calm, cool, and collected.
That's literally
personality-wise.
That's it.
Put those six together.
Yeah,
you got your success formula.
Most situations, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Donny, Fat Cat,
Frankie D.
Love you, man.
Love you more, man.
All right, brother.
Love you.
Always good to have you.
Thank you.